This program is brought to you by Sunglow Feeds. Feed their potential.
One of the things that we're taught from a very young age is how to use a show stick. We're taught from our parents, how to scratch a calf and build trust with that calf. And, one of the best ways to do it is with a show stick. And so a lot of times we introduce these cattle to the show stick at a very young age. A lot of times when we're breaking them, we'll actually tie them up in the barn and just sit in there with a show stick and scratch on them. And but there's some show stick do's and don'ts. And one of the things that is the most common thing I see is putting the show stick size appropriate to the showman. I think too many times when we get young kids just starting, we tend to want to get them a small stick because it's cute and they can't handle a great big one. They wouldn't need one like the size I'm holding on to. But actually that couldn't be farther from the truth. We need to get them a stick that's actually a little bit bigger than them, because when we teach these kids to grab a hold of that halter and reach back and touch a foot, they're small enough. If they've got a short stick, by the time they reach back, they've got this calf all cattywampus. So we want to get a stick. I personally like them to be right around the height of my showman. And then that way, because when that showman is sitting there with that calf in a showmanship pose like Kendall is, we can sit there and we can choke up on that show stick and we can scratch that brisket or wherever we're scratching at. But then if we need to go back and move a leg, we can come back here on the end and that head doesn't move. So make sure to pick the right size show stick for your showman. Another thing that we've seen in the ring quite a bit is how showmen carry their show stick when they're on the lead. So one thing we like to do, I always tell Kendall and teach him, when you're leading, your hand on the hand that your stick that's in the hand that you're not leading with should be right about 2/3 of however long that show stick is. So usually it falls somewhere 6-8 inches below the grip. So, and we want to carry it around the ring with the point down. That's I know it sounds basic, but we still see that quite a bit. And so, those are a couple things. The next thing when we talk about the show stick that we really want to take time and evaluate is how fast these showmen are scratching on these cattle. And there's a joke always goes around that these cattle and any animal can feel the electricity from that showman coming through that halter. And I believe that is exactly true. So what we want to do is we want to find that place that they want to be scratched. We tend to treat like Kendall's doing. We shoot for the brisket, and the main reason we shoot for the brisket is because our fitting techniques today have got us to where we can max these cattle so far out when we're fitting them that we're fitting not only top lines and legs, but we're fitting bellies too. And so if you want to know how to make your fitter upset, start dragging your show stick through that fit belly. But we do have a trick for that if that's the only place your calf is comfortable with. Most cattle, once they get used to it, are absolutely fine. They like the brisket being scratched. And as you can see, Kendall's doing it in a very nice, calm, slow pace. What we don't want to see is when a showman gets a hold of that show stick and just starts going super, super fast. And we call it sawing them in half. So, just a nice, slow, steady pace, kind of like what Kendall's in there, scratching that brisket. He's paying attention to what he's got going on. And now, if you do have a calf that only likes its belly scratched, what you can do is you can actually take and turn your show stick over to where the point is actually facing down, and just lightly scratch the hair that's on the showman's side of that calf to get them calmed down. But preferably we'd like to see you scratching in the brisket.
is a Walton webcasting production. Livestock like you've never seen before.